If your world feels like it's falling apart, this is the one video you can't afford to skip. When everything around you is uncertain, chaotic, or just plain unfair, that's when your mindset matters most. Most people fold under pressure, but a few, they rise. They get stronger. They find a way through. And the difference isn't luck. It's what they do during those hard times that sets them apart. Today, we're breaking down 10 things that will help you not just survive, but come out stronger than ever. We all go through storms, financial problems, heartbreak, failure, betrayal, feeling stuck in life. It's not if life gets hard, it's when. And when it does, most people panic. They freeze. They lose control of their thoughts. They start reacting emotionally, impulsively, and they spiral. They look for quick fixes and distractions just to numb the pain. But here's the truth. What you do in your lowest moments is what defines your future. That's why you need a clear strategy, a mental toolbox, a set of principles to fall back on when things get dark. Not vague feel-good quotes, not blind positivity. Real, practical steps you can take that actually work. That's what this is. Let's dive in. Control your thoughts before they control you. When the world around you feels chaotic, when everything seems to be slipping through your fingers, there is one thing that remains within your grasp: your thoughts. Most people never realize the power they hold in their own mind. They let fear, doubt, and worry run wild, unchecked, until those thoughts shape their reality. They become prisoners of their own thinking without even knowing it. The mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant in it. Leave it unattended, and weeds will take over. Thoughts of failure, regret, and anxiety will choke out everything else. But if you deliberately plant seeds of strength, focus, and determination, that is what will flourish. The choice is yours. You must take control of your inner world before it controls you. This begins with awareness. Most people don't pay attention to the endless stream of thoughts running through their heads. They don't realize how much their inner dialogue shapes their emotions, their decisions, and ultimately their lives. Negative thoughts repeat like a broken record, dragging them down without resistance. But you don't have to let that happen. You can catch those thoughts. You can question them. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me? Is it even true? So often we believe the worst without evidence. We assume failure before we've even tried. We imagine disasters that never come. These thoughts don't protect us. They paralyze us. So challenge them. Replace them with something stronger. This doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means choosing to focus on what moves you forward, not what holds you back. It means feeding your mind with ideas that build you up, not tear you down. Read books that inspire you. Listen to words that strengthen you. Surround yourself with people who push you to be better. The mind absorbs what you give it, so give it fuel, not poison. Training your mind is not a one-time effort. It's a daily discipline. You must watch your thoughts like a guard at a gate, refusing entry to the ones that weaken you. Over time, this becomes habit. Over time, you stop being a slave to fear and start being the master of your own mind. Because here's the truth. Your life depends on it. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your actions, and your actions determine the life you live. So train your mind like your future depends on it, because it does. 2. Decide that you will not be broken. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a choice to bend or to stand firm, to break or to endure. And in that moment, the decision you make defines you. Most people wait for circumstances to change. They hope things will get easier. They pray for the storm to pass. But strength doesn't come from waiting. It comes from deciding. Deciding that no matter what happens, you will not be broken. Say it out loud if you have to. I will not be broke. Let those words sink in. Let them become your anchor. Because once you make that decision, something shifts inside you. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the one who determines your fate. Life will test you. It will push you to your limit. There will be moments when everything in you wants to quit, when the weight feels too heavy to carry. But this is where your power lies, not in avoiding the struggle, but in refusing to let it break you. This isn't about anger. It's not about fighting the world with clenched fists. It's about a quiet, unshakable strength. It's about knowing deep in your bones that you are tougher than whatever comes your way. When you make this decision, everything changes. You stop hoping for an easier life and start building a stronger self. Challenges no longer destroy you. They reveal you. They show you what you're made of. And each time you stand firm, you grow. Each time you refuse to break, you become more resilient. This is the essence of true strength. It's not the absence of struggle, but the refusal to be defeated by it. It's the choice to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. It's the commitment to your values, even when the world tries to shake them. So draw the line. Decide now that nothing will break you. Not failure, not pain, not doubt. Let that decision be the foundation of everything you do. Because once you know you cannot be broken, you become unstoppable. 3. Focus on what you can control. There is a great trap that most people fall into without realizing it. They waste their energy on things they cannot change. They obsess over the past, worrying about mistakes they can't undo. They fixate on the future, paralyzed by fears of what might go wrong. They spend hours angry about decisions other people made, about circumstances beyond their reach. And in doing so, they drain themselves of the very power they need to move forward. But the ones who endure, the ones who survive the toughest storms, understand something fundamental. Real strength comes from focusing only on what you can control. The moment you shift your attention from what you can't change to what you can, everything shifts with it. Suddenly, you're no longer helpless. Suddenly, you have agency. Even if it's something small, how you breathe, the words you choose, the way you carry yourself, it matters. Because action, no matter how minor, is the antidote to despair. Start with the simplest things. Make your bed, walk outside, drink water, speak with intention. These may seem insignificant, but they are proof that you still have command over your own life. And each small act of control builds upon the next, creating momentum. Momentum is the difference between sinking and swimming. Worrying about the uncontrollable is like trying to stop the wind with your hands. It's exhausting and futile, but directing your energy toward what you can influence. That's how you move forward. That's how you reclaim your power. So ask yourself every single day, what can I do right now? Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, right now. And then do it, no matter how small, because the more you focus on what's within your grasp, the less power the uncontrollable has over you. This is how you survive. This is how you thrive, not by waiting for the storm to pass, but by learning to steer your ship through it. 4. Create a clear, definite purpose. When the world feels like it's crumbling around you, when doubt and fear creep in, there is one thing that can anchor you: a clear, definite purpose. Without it, you drift. And drifting is dangerous, because when you have no direction, even the smallest waves can knock you off course. A purpose isn't just some grand, lofty mission. It doesn't have to change the world. It just has to mean something to you. It can be as simple as, I want to be stronger than I was yesterday. I want to take care of my family. I want to prove to myself that I don't quit. What matters is that it burns inside you, that it's strong enough to pull you out of bed on the hardest morning, that it's louder than the voice telling you to give up. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Keep it where you can see it every day. Because when everything feels overwhelming, when the noise of the world drowns out your thoughts, this purpose will be your compass. It will remind you why you're fighting. A man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave, going wherever the current takes him. But a man with a purpose, he may still face storms, but he knows where he's headed. He doesn't waste energy on distraction. He doesn't get lost in setbacks. He keeps moving because he knows what he's moving toward. So ask yourself, what is my purpose? Not what someone else expects of you, not what society tells you to want. What is the thing that matters so deeply to you that it will keep you going when nothing else will? Find that. Hold on to it. Let it be the fire that keeps you warm when the world feels cold. Because when you have a reason to keep going, you will find a way, no matter what stands in your path. 5. Keep your emotions in check. There is a force within you more powerful than any obstacle you will ever face. Your emotions, they can lift you to incredible heights or drag you down into depths you never imagined. The difference between those two outcomes comes down to one thing: control. Every person knows what it feels like to be overwhelmed by emotion. Anger that makes your vision go red. Fear that paralyzes you. Frustration that clouds your judgment. These feelings are not the problem, they are human. The danger comes when you let them take the wheel. Think of your mind as a kingdom. Emotions are the citizens, valuable, necessary, but not fit to rule. When they seize power, chaos follows. Words are spoken that can never be taken back. Decisions are made in haste and regretted for years. Relationships fracture. Opportunities vanish. All because in a single heated moment, control was surrendered. The strongest people are not those who feel nothing. They are the ones who feel deeply but refuse to be ruled by those feelings. They recognize the storm within them, but they do not let it dictate their course. Through the simplest yet most powerful tool, the pause. When emotion rises like a tide, they do not react. They step back. They breathe. They walk away if they must. They give themselves space between feeling and action. In that space, clarity returns, perspective is regained, and when they finally respond, it is with intention, not impulse. This is not suppression, it is mastery. It is understanding that while you cannot always control what you feel, you can always control what you do with those feelings. Train yourself in this art. When anger comes, pause before speaking. When fear grips you, pause before retreating. When sadness weighs you down, pause before surrendering. That moment of restraint is where your true power lives. Because emotions are like fire, useful when harnessed, destructive when unchecked. Learn to keep them in their proper place, and you will find they serve you rather than sabotage you. 6. Don't isolate yourself. There is a lie that strong people tell themselves, that they must bear their burdens alone, that asking for help is weakness, that showing struggle is failure. It is one of the most dangerous lies a person can believe. When pain comes, the first instinct is often to withdraw, to build walls, to hide the mess inside because letting others see it feels like admitting defeat. But this isolation doesn't make you stronger. It makes you brittle. Human beings were not designed to endure in solitude. Even the strongest tree in the forest is connected to a vast network of roots beneath the soil. Cut off from that system, it cannot thrive, neither can you. This doesn't mean you must broadcast your struggles to the world. Strength isn't about performative suffering, but find one person, one true confidant, someone who won't judge your battles but will stand beside you as you fight them. If speaking feels impossible, write. Fill pages with your thought. The act of putting pain into words, even words no one else will see, loosens its grip. It brings form to the formless, making it easier to understand and overcome. The ego will whisper that you don't need anyone, that you're different, that you can handle it alone. Don't listen. Every great warrior has allies. Every wise leader has counsel. There is no shame in connection, only strength, because the truth is this: a burden shared is a burden halved. Not because someone else carries it for you, but because speaking it aloud makes it manageable. Because another perspective can reveal paths you couldn't see. Because sometimes just knowing you're not alone is enough to keep going. So fight the urge to disappear into yourself. Reach out. Speak up. Let someone in. Real strength isn't about how much you can endure alone. It's about knowing when to let others help you endure. That knowledge doesn't make you weak. It makes you unbreakable. 7. Take action. Even when you don't feel like it, there is a truth you must understand if you ever want to move beyond where you are right now. Motivation does not come first. Action does. The world has sold you a lie that you need to feel inspired, energized, confident before you can begin. That one day the clouds will part and suddenly you'll be ready. That day will never come. The people who accomplish great things aren't those who wait for the perfect moment. They're the ones who understand that the perfect moment is a myth. They act despite the fear, despite the doubt, despite the voice in their head saying not yet. Think of your mind like a stubborn engine on a cold morning. It won't start smoothly. It sputters. It resists. But once you get it moving, once you push through that initial resistance, it warms up. It begins to run as it was meant to. Your willpower works the same way. The first action is always the hardest. After that, momentum takes over. This is why small actions matter more than you think. When you're paralyzed by fear or overwhelmed by the size of a task, don't focus on the whole mountain. Focus on the next step. Just one. Stand up, open your laptop, send the email, make the call, write one sentence, read one page. These tiny actions seem insignificant, but they send a powerful message to your subconscious. I am not helpless. I am in motion. And once your mind accepts that message, something shifts. The fear that felt suffocating becomes manageable. The doubt that screamed in your ear quiets down, because action, no matter how small, proves to your brain that you are capable of moving forward. So stop waiting to feel ready. You won't. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. It won't. Do it afraid. Do it tired. Do it uncertain. But do it. The most successful people in the world aren't those who never feel fear. They're the ones who act anyway. That's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. One group waits for the right feeling. The other understands that the feeling comes after you begin. Practice stillness daily. The modern world is designed to keep you in motion, to keep you reacting, to keep your mind cluttered with noise, endless notifications, constant updates, the pressure to always be doing something. But here's what no one tells you. Wisdom isn't found in the chaos. It's found in the quiet. Stillness isn't about sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop. It's about carving out moments in your day when you step away from the noise, when you let your mind settle, when you stop reacting long enough to remember what really matters. Most people never do that. They move from one task to the next, one distraction to the next, until their thoughts become a tangled mess. They make decisions based on impulse rather than clarity. They confuse busyness with progress. Stillness is where that changes. Even 10 minutes a day. Sit, breathe. Let your thoughts come and go without grabbing onto them. Don't judge them. Don't chase them. Just observe. At first, your mind will resist. It will tell you this is a waste of time, that you should be doing something. That's because it's addicted to motion. But beneath that restlessness is something far more valuable. The ability to see clearly. When you practice stillness regularly, something shifts. You stop reacting to every little thing. You start seeing patterns you missed before. Solutions appear that were invisible in the frenzy. You begin to recognize the difference between what's urgent and what's important. This isn't about emptying your mind. It's about creating space in it. Space to think, space to decide, space to remember who you are and what you're really after. Because the truth is this. You can't hear yourself think when the world is always shouting. Stillness is where you find your voice again. It's where you remember what you're fighting for. So make time for it. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The busier your life gets, the more you need these moments of quiet. Not as an escape, but as a return to what matters most. 9. Don't chase comfort. Build strength. There's a voice inside every person that whispers the same dangerous lie. Just take it easy. You deserve a break. Tomorrow is soon enough. It sounds reasonable. It sounds kind, but it's the voice that keeps people small. The truth is this: comfort won't save you. It might cushion you for a while, but cushions don't build strength. They create softness, and softness doesn't survive hard times. Strength does. Think of your mind like a blade. Left untouched, it dulls. But put it against resistance, sharpen it against friction, and it becomes something that can cut through anything. That's the choice you face every single day: to let yourself grow dull in comfort, or to seek out the resistance that makes you sharp. Most people choose the first option without realizing it. They avoid discomfort at all costs. They hit snooze instead of rising early. They scroll instead of studying. They choose distractions over discipline, because it's easier in the moment. But life doesn't reward what's easy. It rewards what's earned. Here's what you must understand. Comfort zones aren't safe zones. They're stagnation zones. Nothing grows there. No progress happens there. They're where dreams go to die slowly, quietly, without anyone noticing until it's too late. The people who accomplish extraordinary things aren't those who wait for motivation or perfect condition. They're the ones who do what needs to be done, especially when they don't feel like doing it. They train when tired. They work when uninspired. They push when every fiber of their being wants to quit. Not because it's enjoyable, but because they know each act of discipline is another brick in the foundation of their strength. This is how you build mental muscle, not by avoiding resistance, but by seeking it out. By waking up before the world does and claiming those quiet hours for yourself. By turning off the noise and sitting with your thoughts instead of drowning them out. By doing the work nobody sees today so you can reap the rewards everyone notices tomorrow. Discomfort is the price of growth. There's no way around it. You can't gain strength without resistance, any more than a sailor can learn to navigate calm seas. The storms are where the skill is built. The hard days are where the character is forged. So stop running from difficulty. Stop waiting for things to get easier. They won't, but you will get stronger if you let every time you choose the harder path, when you study instead of scrolling, when you save instead of spending, when you hold your tongue instead of lashing out, you're not just making a better choice for that moment. You're rewiring your entire mindset. You're teaching yourself that discomfort isn't something to fear, but something to master. This is the secret that separates those who endure from those who crumble. They don't avoid the fire, they walk through it. Not because they're unafraid, but because they know that's where transformation happens. So ask yourself today and every day after, am I choosing comfort or am I choosing strength? Because the path you pick now determines who you'll become later. One leads to regret, the other leads to resilience. The choice is always yours. 10. Keep the faith, even if it's just a little. There will come days, maybe you've already had them, when everything in you wants to quit. When the road ahead looks too long, the climb too steep, and the voice inside your head whispers that it's not worth it, that you're not strong enough, that nothing will change. On those days, you don't need grand visions of the future. You don't need unshakable certainty. You just need one small, stubborn ember of faith to keep burning. Faith isn't about believing everything will be perfect. It's about believing that something, even if you can't see it yet, is worth fighting for. That your effort matters even when there's no proof. That who you are becoming in the struggle is more valuable than where you are right now. Most people misunderstand faith. They think it's supposed to be loud, big declarations, unbreakable confidence, absolute certainty. But real faith, the kind that survives storms, is often quiet. It's the whisper in the dark that says, just one more step. It's the part of you that keeps going when logic says to stop. You don't have to know how things will work out. You just have to trust that they can. Think of faith like a muscle. At first it's weak. Doubt comes easily. But every time you choose to act despite that doubt, every time you show up, try again, refuse to quit, you strengthen it. You prove to yourself that you can endure more than you thought. This is how faith grows. Not by waiting for a sign, but by stacking up the days where you kept going anyway, where you worked without seeing results, where you stood back up after being knocked down. Over time, those small acts of persistence add up. That flicker of faith becomes a flame. And one day you realize the voice that used to whisper you can't has been replaced by one that says, you. But here's what no one tells you. Faith isn't passive. It's not just hoping things will get better. It's acting as if they will, even when the evidence isn't there yet. It's making the call, writing the plan, taking the risk, not because you're sure it will work, but because you refuse to let fear decide for you. The world will test this. There will be setbacks that make you question everything. Moments where it feels like the universe itself is telling you to give up. That's when you must protect that small flame of faith like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Feed it with action. Shield it from the voices, both inside and out, that say it's pointless. Remind yourself of the times you thought you couldn't go on but did. Faith isn't blind, it's built, brick by brick, day by day, decision by decision. And the more you build it, the more it becomes something unshakable, not because the world around you has changed, but because you have. So if today all you have is the tiniest bit of faith, just enough to take one more step, hold on to it. That's all you need. Because small faith, when acted on, becomes strong faith. And strong faith becomes unstoppable power. Keep going. Here's the truth no one likes to say. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. You become the kind of person who can handle the storm, who doesn't fall apart just because things didn't go your way. This isn't about being perfect. It's about building unshakable strength from the inside out. So when the next storm hits, and it will, you won't panic. You won't break. You'll know exactly what to do, because you've already made that decision. Tough times are the test, not of your comfort, but of your character. Control your thoughts. Make the decision to stay unbroken. Focus on what you can control. Have a purpose. Keep your emotions in check. Don't isolate. Take action. Practice stillness. Reject comfort. Keep the faith. These aren't just ideas, they're weapons. And if you use them, you'll survive whatever life throws at you and come out stronger on the other side.